now that we've grown all of these tomatoes, I have taken you guys along with us from planting each of our seeds, tending to our tomato starts, getting them in the high tunnel, and watching them grow and produce such an abundance of fruit. This is our second big harvest, fairly big harvest. Our first big harvest, we went ahead and made a whole bunch of salsa. Today we are making spaghetti sauce. So come on and join us in the kitchen. I mean, it smells really good. What does it have in it? We put garlic.
Tomatoes.
Lots.
And lots of tomatoes.
Lots and lots of tomatoes. So it has our tomato mixture, has garlic,
onion,
oregano, lots of tomatoes, has a little bit of sugar. I wanted to try it with honey, or might try that next time. It has some citric acid. It has some pepper.
Some red pepper, crushed red pepper.
What else do we put in here?
Pepper, black pepper, salt.
Did I already say oregano? I don't know. Oregano.
Got Italian seasoning.
Lots of it. Lots of it. So we'll see. So this is kind of we have now, since doing this, I think this is a combination of all the tomatoes that we have growing in our garden.
I think we got 4 gallons of sauce.
Yeah, we probably do. But what we like about our cocktail for our spaghetti sauce, it has color. You know, we've got, so the tomatoes, let's talk about the tomatoes that we put in our sauce. I have like 1/2 of it more.
Okay.
So some of the tomatoes that we decided to put in our spaghetti sauce, we have, of course, we have Romas. We have a pretty good amount of Romas. It would have been great if we could have strictly done Romas, but I didn't have enough to make the abundance that we needed to make to fill our pantry. So and then we also had other tomatoes that were getting ready to go, so we ended up just kind of doing a big old mixture of all the tomatoes, and it really complements it. There's so much flavor in this. So some of the tomatoes that we have outside of the Romas we had some extra, I had some pretty big pork chop tomatoes, which if you are ever curious about a pork chop tomato, I think that's probably my favorite tomato one of my favorite tomatoes that we grow. It's a huge tomato. I had a 2-pound pork chop tomato that I picked last night that we added into our dinner, but it is a very hearty yellow tomato. It's huge. Then we have Dr. Witchy's that we added in here. We also added some tie-dye, some
Yep.
tomato tie-dyes. We had Cherokee purple, which
That was a beautiful.
I really
that's
like.
That's a beautiful.
It adds
tomato.
a really rich color to your tomato sauce. Then I had a couple of green ones. I think we had a few green zebra. So not only is it going to taste good, but it's going to have this, you're going to see color. You're going to see all the beautiful variety of tomatoes, but I think I think the flavor of mixing them together, I think it complements it, and I think that it has just a distinct, I mean, it's a garden vegetable spaghetti sauce.
Yep.
And we like it chunky. You can puree it. I like to see the tomato. I like to see the onion. I like to see the bits and pieces in our spaghetti sauce. And I can't speak for you, but are you?
I am known to just chop up fresh tomatoes and add basil and
yeah.
added it to pasta with a little Parmesan cheese.
Yes.
Or I will totally cook it down.
Yeah.
So if the sauce is a little
Liquidy.
thinner, and I want it big and chunky.
So we talked a lot about yes, we grow a lot of tomatoes.
Yes.
Now it's definitely it's time that we do this preservation. One of the reasons that we focused on a lot of spaghetti sauce is because we estimated that we eat spaghetti at least, or have a tomato-based sauce
Something.
about once every 2 weeks, if not more.
Maybe 3 times a month.
Probably, maybe even more than that. So we figured we would do just this huge batch, and this is batch number 1. I feel like we're going to be doing this every weekend for the rest of our life.
I think we're going to be, well, I think the first batch took us a little while. We're new at this.
We are.
I canned.
Yeah, we are.
I canned when I was younger. I did a lot of blackberry jam and strawberry jams and green beans, you know, the typical stuff. I didn't grow up canning every single day.
But that's our goal. That's what we want to do, and
we're learning something old.
we are, and it's something that, as of right now, being able to preserve your harvest, I think, is huge. I think it comes hand in hand. If you grow a garden, you need to learn how to preserve your own food, and have that, because ultimately, having a garden is like grocery shopping at your own house. Now,
Violet is sound asleep.
my dog is snoring. You might hear her snore. But being able to preserve your harvest is additionally just like having your own grocery store.
So that was half a pot, and I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 2 more jars.
Should have just done what we... The other important factor when it comes to preserving your harvest is actually being able to not let anything go to waste. Of what we cut out from the tomato, it actually went right back to our animals, and our pigs were able to enjoy it. Go feed that to the pigs. Nothing goes to waste. But another part of the tomato that a lot of people don't actually realize that they can save is the skin. After we cut an X in the bottom of the tomato and blanched it, we were able to take the skin off. That's something that a lot of people don't realize. My good friend Anne, you might have heard me talk about Anne. She is the farm girl in the making, and I shared this book with you last time when I did my tomato harvest from our greenhouse. Now, Anne was the one that actually shared the fried green tomato canning recipe so that you can actually have fried green tomatoes all winter long. Now, after looking through her book, I realized that you can take all of the tomato skins, put them in the dehydrator, and dehydrated them for around, I wanna say I did a good solid 12 hours. What we're gonna do with these is we're gonna actually take them, grind them up into a powder, and then you can actually add water to it, and that is how you make your tomato paste. So we are trying so hard to, one, preserve our harvest, and two, be able to actually utilize all aspects of the tomato. This has definitely been an adventure when it comes to learning how to preserve your harvest, and I cannot express enough how rewarding it feels to be able to go out and pick some of the tomatoes that you grew from a seed and have your family be able to enjoy them all winter long. We did roughly around 60 pounds of tomatoes today, and that's not even all of them. I still have another batch or two that I'm gonna do probably tomorrow. My goal is to have around 50 or 60 32-ounce jars full of spaghetti sauce. So far, we're chipping away. And we might even make some ketchup next. Thank you guys for coming along with us and enjoying just a little bit of what we do here on the Honeystead. And as always, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and learn something old.